Secretary General, hello and welcome to the Jazeera Balkans channel. Thank you so much for taking time to speak to us. Now, you're visiting Sarajevo at a time of heightened tensions following the sentencing of Milorad Dodik. There are also huge anti-government protests in neighboring Serbia, and there are increased Russian and Chinese disinformation campaigns in the region. Now, are you planning to beef up NATO's presence in this region, or are you satisfied with the status quo?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And this visit was planned a long time ago. As you know, I came in October last year. And we decided to have this visit early on in my tenure. Obviously, things have changed, you're right. So all these issues are part of the conversation. We are not planning now to enhance NATO's presence here in Bosnia at this moment. But there is a strong presence, it is highly respected. And of course, we will always look at what we can do more.
I understand that once you wrap up your Sarajevo trip, you'll be visiting Kosovo. How do you view the latest political developments in Kosovo and NATO's role in that country in the short and medium term?
Well, obviously, Kosovo is a very important country, and NATO has a big presence there through KFOR. So it is important that we make sure collectively that country is in the best possible shape. There has been an election, so now we have to see how the new government will form itself. But that is part of a normal, democratically political process. So that's not bad. But as you said in your first question, in the whole region things are happening. So I'm in intense contact not only with the Bosnian and Hercegovinian leadership, but also, of course, Kosovo tomorrow. I was on the phone last week with Aleksandrom Vučićem. He will visit soon in Brussels. So we are really dialoguing intensely to make sure that we dial back on the tensions in the region.
Do you trust Serbia as a partner?
Yes, Serbia is an important part of NATO.
Yes.
We work very well together. I know Aleksandar Vučić myself since a long time. We have become friends over time. So we work very well together. But obviously, he has his interests, he has his points of view, and we have to discuss those.
Which are not always on the same page as that of NATO.
No, but the problem by my job is that in many discussions I have, you not only always start from the same position, but in the end everybody wants the same. And that is what happened in this region between 1995 and between 1992 and 1999, between 1992 and 1995 here in Bosnia, Herzegovina, but also up to 1999 in Kosovo. We can never have a repeat of this. This region has a huge potential. We have many young people living here. We want them to stay here, to be successful here, to start their businesses here, to become active in politics, in academia, whatever they want to do. Become great artists and develop these countries. And there are many possibilities, but therefore we need stability.
Now, some NATO member states, such as Hungary and Montenegro, have elected government officials that quite openly gravitate towards the Kremlin. Now we see how President Donald Trump has also likewise been echoing the Kremlin's talking points when it comes to Ukraine. Is the alliance in trouble?
Well, I don't agree with you about Donald Trump.
Why not?
He broke the deadlock. He broke the deadlock on Ukraine. And that was crucial. So him opening up to Vladimir Putin, but also to Volodymyr Zelensky, to start a process, which will take time, under his leadership, to bring Ukraine to a durable peace is important. And I commend him for that. And obviously we have to take this step by step. There will be talks going on tomorrow in Saudi Arabia between the American and the Ukrainian team. There have been talks so far between the American and the Russian teams sitting together. And this will be a step-by-step approach, but it is important that somehow we bring Ukraine to peace. We cannot have this going on forever. I mean, many people are dying.
But does Europe's security hinge on Ukraine's stability?
Obviously, everything is connected. We want Ukraine to get to a durable peace, which is lasting for Ukraine, but also for the whole region. And there is even more at stake, because when you talk about Ukraine, there's an audience of one listening in. And that one person is the first secretary of the Communist Party of China, one Xi Jinping. He will be very interested who comes out on top, whether this is a good deal for the US or not, a good deal for the West or not. Otherwise, he might get thoughts about the Indo-Pacific, and we don't want that.
We've seen how Ursula von der Leyen announced the spending of 800 billion euros over the next 5 years for defense. This is quite unprecedented, yet we see southern European countries such as Italy, Spain, Portugal spending barely less than a 2% threshold, while Poland spends more than 4%. Why is there such a gap between NATO member states.
Well, that has been there for a long time, but let's again...
But it's still not changing anytime soon.
Well, it is changing, and let's first applaud President Trump, because in his first term he was very frustrated about the low spending levels here in Europe, and he was able to bring us to, by now, 700 billion more spent since 2017 on defense in Europe, since he became president in 2016-2017. It is still not enough, because now we are around this famous 2%, but we know, based on the assessments we are making, that we need much more to spend on defense, probably north of 3%, so that is one. But look what happened last week, 800 billion, as you mentioned. You look at Germany, committing up to, what is it, $500 billion on defense? Look at Belgium even now saying we want to reach the 2%. Look at what happened in Sweden, the United Kingdom, Czech Republic, Denmark. All these countries now announcing huge increases in defense spending. So since he got on board for the second time, Donald Trump 47, the results are impressive when it comes to defense spending. And again, I applaud him for this, not only because he wanted it for fair burden sharing, but also because we know that in this part of the world we cannot stay safe if we don't invest more in defense because of what Putin is doing, investing in his own. And then you're right, the ones not on 2% clearly have to get there before summer, including Italy, including Spain, including Portugal, including Luxembourg, including Canada.
And one very final question when it comes to Ukraine. We heard last year quite a number of high-ranking NATO generals, NATO officials and US generals saying we'll support Ukraine as long as it takes. Does this still hold today?
Yes, that holds today, but it doesn't mean that you want a war as long as it takes. You want this to end. And I think here Trump is right. We have to end this war. But of course in a way that it will never ever start again. So we need to bring Ukraine to a place where Putin will never ever try this again. Basically, no Minsk III, as Pete Heck said, the new Secretary of Defense said. It has to be a durable, lasting peace.
Secretary General, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.